A new migrant surge at the border, this one from Central Africa. San Antonio U4 months, a migrant services center blocks from the Alamo in downtown San Antonio has been packed with Central American families who have crossed the border in record numbers. But in recent days, hundreds of migrants from another part of the world have caused city officials already busy with one immigrant surge to scramble on a new and unexpected one. Men, women, their arrival at the border and at two cities more than 2,100 miles apart San Antonio and Portland, Maine has surprised and puzzled immigration authorities and overwhelmed local officials and nonprofit groups. The surge has prompted in San Antonio. The city-run Migrant Resource Center has assisted about 300 African migrants who were apprehended at the border and released by the authorities since June 4. Those 300 migrants from around the world have been known to cross the southwest border, but the vast majority are those from Guatemala, Honduras, El Salvador, and Mexico. African migrants, many come with horrific stories of government-sanctioned violence at home and treacherous conditions on their long journeys through South and Central America. It's definitely an anomaly that we have not experienced before, said Raul L. Ortiz, the Border Patrol's chief patrol agent for the Del Rio sector. We do know there are, in both San Antonio and Portland, elected officials, volunteers, and nonprofit and religious leaders have rallied to assist the African migrants, donating money, serving free meals and operating overnight shelters. But their resources, many of the Central American asylum seekers apprehended at the border have solidified their travel plans by the time they are released by Border Patrol or Immigration and Customs Enforcement. The migrants arranged, but many of the recent African migrants do not have relatives in the country, so they are being released with no travel arrangements, a problem that local officials and nonprofit groups are forced to sort out. Some of the Congo, a Border Patrol spokesman denied those claims, saying the agency is not directing migrants toward any particular destination. In Portland, the largest city in Maine, with a population of 66,417, about 200 African migrants were sleeping on cots Friday night in a temporary emergency shelter set up in the Portland Expo Center. The city has the mayor of Portland, Ethan K. Strimling, said they welcomed African migrants, and a donation campaign for them had raised more than $20,000 in its first 36 hours. I don't consider it a crisis, in the sense that it is going to be detrimental to our city, Strimling said. We're not building more. Dr. Colleen Bridger, the interim assistant city manager of San Antonio, said the city would figure out a way to get the Africans the services and transportation they needed. The city and it's not an option for us to say to people newly arrived in the United States that they're not our problem and that they're welcome to sleep on the park bench until they find enough money to buy food and bus tickets for their children, Bridger said. That's just not.
Raindrop, drop top, smoking, no cooking the hot pot. Fucking on your bitch, yeah, that. Looking up, open the park pot.